The Pioneer Museum has been in existence since 1956 and reflects the history of Martin County. We are excited to share with you some of the highlights of what we have to offer. For more information, visit our website.
All right, Lenny, are you ready for your procedure?
On second thought, how long have you been a dentist?
1 day.
Well, then you must know quite a bit about this equipment here, right?
Well, I know some.
well, tell me about what you have in your hand there,
Oh, sure.
and your left hand.
Well, this is a foot-powered dental station. You see, I'm not going to earn my dental degree probably demonstrating this, but you power it with your foot.
You need good eye-hand coordination to do that.
Yeah, well, I did play baseball. And then the wire turns the crank here, and it powers the tool. And don't worry, I'm not going to demonstrate on you. But
And so that is a drill then, kind of like what you might have today, only pretty historic.
Right. Yep. Today they use electricity. Back then they used foot power.
I see.
So,
yeah.
and we got an assortment of other historic dental tools. You know, some of these you might may or may not recognize from your own trips to the dentist.
That one doesn't look like it'd be very much fun. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I really hope they didn't use this to pound your tooth out or nothing like that. So, and these all came from local Martin County dentists. So that's how we got them in our collection here. And
But this is an interesting item too.
yeah, you probably noticed something like it at your doctor today. This is sort of a spittoon. There's probably a more dental, scientific name for it, but yeah, that's where you'd spit out the cleaning solution and all the stuff. Nowadays they use kind of those mouth vacuums, I guess, to suck it out. But
And this must be a rinse type thing, huh?
Yep, that's a rinse and cleaning station.
Okay. Well, what else do you have over here?
Well, I've got an interesting item here that can help tell us a little bit about this prayer book and bullets.
Yeah. Well, this is an item in the hunt room that could be overlooked, I guess, if you didn't look too closely at the displays. Mm-hmm. These are slugs from the Whitney murder that took place in Rolling Green Township back in 1895. And this is a prayer book, New Testament maybe. And the house was riddled with bullets because the sheriff and his posse all came to where this was at, and they couldn't get the person who was guilty of the murder out, so they literally peppered the house with bullets, and this was in the wall actually. Oh. And this is the result of what took place at that time. It's on display in one of the cabinets back there. Yeah. What else do we have in this room, Jim, that you can point out to?
This room has a ton of different things. We've got a historic antique X-ray. We've got a traveling accordion. We've got some of William Budd's tools, the tools that actually probably built much of early Fairmont.
And it was named the Hunt Room. Why is it named the Hunt Room?
Well, it's named the Hunt Room after Dr. Hunt. He was one of the early doctors that would take care of people in Fairmont and Martin County. They would make house calls on their bikes. And we got a lot of their tools and books and things they used also here in the Hunt Room.
And didn't he actually buy the museum and donate it to the Historical Society?
He did, yep. When the Catholic Church moved in the 1950s, he bought this and gave it to us, and we're still here today, and very thankful for that. What other items are we missing here in the museum?
Well, there's a lot of toys from, I think, looks like the 1950s.
Sure.
There are some cameras, and something that probably people or kids today wouldn't know a lot about because they use computers. That would be the typewriters.
Ah.
We have a number of different typewriters. And there was a Miss Minnesota from 1955.
Oh.
And that was Marlis Reed, and we have a picture of her and her trophy, I believe. And wasn't there a famous actress?
Yeah, Gail Garber. She was a big Hollywood star, worked with like Jackie Gleason, a lot of that era of movie star, and we've got a lot of her pictures here on display as well.
The R Gang, was it the R Gang?
Yeah, R Gang. I think that's what they called their little crew out there.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Anything else you can think of?
Oh boy, well I'm sure we're not going to list everything. We do have money that was printed here in Martin County. That's here on display. We've got historic phones. Now, I know I look young, but I do remember the rotary phone days. So we've got a lot of historic phones. Candle makers, a braille machine, music box, dulcimer, musical instrument. There's so much that I'm not going to list everything because I'll probably run out of air.
Well, this is a room you're sure going to want to see if you come to the museum. It's the Hunt Room, and it has all of these things that we've talked about, plus a lot more.
Come check us out.
What do you need, Jim?
Mr. Tvedten, can I get a drink of water?
In the middle of filming?
Sorry, I didn't think about it ahead of time.
Go ahead.
All right.
Be careful, though. That's a historic item.
I know. I'm not actually going to get a drink of water out of this one. This is an antique ceramic water cooler, and this comes from Silver Lake Township, just southwest of Fairmont.
When was that used, do you think?
Probably from around the turn of the century up through about the 1930s or so. And it functions basically how a lot of like sideline coolers work today. You pull the little pump that lets the water come through and out the spout, and you just lean down and drink away. And if you're looking for something a little more old school, we've got the old bucket and ladle system here.
Did people share that?
Yep. This would be one ladle per 20 students or so.
Probably not good in a pandemic.
I think these would be outlawed today.
Boy.
So what else are we missing in this room, Lenny?
Well, you know, when students went to school, they didn't have a hot lunch program. So they brought their lunch in these lunch pails.
Oh, sure.
And they look a little different than the ones today, but, you know, they serve the purpose. And what else do you see, Jim?
Well, there's a ton to see in this room. Right behind us here, we've got the Tom Mahoney football display. We've got junior high drums, a lot of homecoming buttons. One of the most popular items in the whole museum is our yearbook display. And if you're a sleuth, you can find MCHS staff in one of those books in there.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Yeah, I don't know that I want people to look at them, but you can find them.
And what's back in the corner over there? It looks like a TV.
Yeah, that's our 1983 IBM computer.
Does it work?
It does. It doesn't quite function like today's computers, but we can boot it up. And that's from the days of the black and green screen, not the full Technicolor like we've got today.
Sure. There's some tile up there. Is that from one of the schools in Fairmont?
Yeah, so those are the tiles that adorn the hallways of William Budd School.
Oh, sure. Right up at the top it says William Budd School, shows a picture of it.
Yeah, and we've got the cornerstone from that school. Those tiles, like I said, those were in the hallway. A lot of myself and my classmates, we remember walking down and looking at the different, the fish and the pirate and the butterflies, and just something that made the school day a little brighter.
You know, for people that may be new to the community, where was that school located? What would be kind of a landmark where they could find where it was located?
So that is where the Fairmont Municipal Water Plant is today.
Okay.
So yeah, if you drive by the water plant, that big hill, that's where the school would have been, and it was named after William Budd, and that's actually about the spot where William Budd had his first home as well.
Sure. You know, as you look back in history of education, now in Fairmont we have how many schools?
2?
High
3?
school, elementary.
Yep.
Back in the early 1900s, late 1800s, there's a picture over there of a map.
Sure.
And
Yep.
what does that map show us?
Well, I believe that shows us where all of the rural schools were at in Martin County.
The one-room country schools.
Right. Yep. The one-room country schools, and I don't remember, Lenny. How many schools did we have?
There were over 100 of them.
Sheesh.
Over 100 schools in Martin County, one-room country schools at that, back in the late 1800s, early 1900s.
Oh, that's incredible.
So, yeah, it's just amazing.
Well, anything else that we're missing here in this room that people should look at?
Well, there's just too much for us to even talk about. We're going to have people come and visit. This is a schoolroom, so be sure to stop and see everything that we talked about, plus a lot of the things that we didn't talk about.
Absolutely. Come on by.